I'm Michael Wilson, producer of the James Bond films. What you're seeing now is some 16mm footage we found in our vaults showing some behind-the-scenes footage from The Spy Who Loved Me while on location in Egypt. The Spy Who Loved Me was the first 007 film where my stepfather, Cubby Broccoli, served as sole producer. The film was important for me personally because for the first time, I had the opportunity to work closely with Cubby and a host of writers in developing the screenplay for the film. Cubby hired Louis Gilbert, who had previously directed You Only Live Twice a decade earlier. Cubby gambled that audiences were ready for a more fantasy-laden Bond film, and he was right. The tone was perfect for the times and for Roger Moore's brand of James Bond. While the James Bond films are not travelogues, we do like to take viewers to spectacular places and show them things in a way that they've never seen before. When we went to Egypt in the mid-1970s, tensions were high in the Mideast. It took some careful negotiations to get our crew into Egypt. We had to submit our script in advance, and a representative of the Egyptian government had to be present during shooting to make certain we did not portray the country in a negative light. Egypt was a great location for a James Bond film. Louis Gilbert and cinematographer Claude Renoir made it look elegant and exotic. Claude was the nephew of the great director Jean Renoir. He helped photograph many of Renoir's great films like The Grand Illusion. He also shot second unit on Cleopatra and photographed the 60s cult classic Barbarella. Sadly, Claude's eyesight began to deteriorate in the late 70s. The Spy Who Loved Me was his last major film as cinematographer. It is a beautiful coda to a wonderful career. Our most challenging sequence was the night shooting in mid-October 1976 at the Pyramids of Giza, where we restaged the Son et Lumière, the nightly light show. Despite the dramatic lighting effects, much of the show had to be recreated in the studio using special effects. Few viewers ever noticed. One of the highlights of filming in Egypt was the rooftop fight between James Bond and Sandor, played by actor-wrestler Milton Reed. This scene was shot between October 17th and 20th, 1976 at the Geyer Anderson Museum near the Ibn Tulum Mosque. Milton Reed had the distinction of appearing not only in The Spy Who Loved Me, but in Dr. No as one of the Doctor's guards. He also made a brief appearance in Casino Royale, the Bond spoof produced in 1967 by Charlie Feldman. Here you can see Reed rehearsing with Roger Moore, stunt arranger Bob Simmons, and Moore's stunt double Martin Grace. Every fight like this takes days of rehearsal. For the high fall, Reed himself was doubled by stuntman Jack Cooper, wearing a bald cap. We filmed on the Nile with our wonderful leading lady, Barbara Bach. Bach was a model for many years, eventually moving to Italy, where she appeared in a number of films. Before being cast in The Spy Who Loved Me, Bach co-starred with former Bond women Claudine Auger and Ursula Andress in Italian films. A number of high-profile actresses were considered for the role of Major Anya Amasova, but we could not have been more pleased when we found Barbara. You can see from this behind-the-scenes footage just how photogenic she is. One of the most memorable characters of The Spy Who Loved Me was Jaws, played by Richard Kiel. This sequence, shot at various temples at or near Karnak, was one of his signature scenes. When you see the behind-the-scenes footage, you can understand the challenges faced by our director Louis Gilbert to piece together a stylish sequence with just the right balance of comedy and suspense. Despite whatever was going on, Louis always seemed to keep focused on the film and get the results he wanted. All in all, Egypt was a wonderful challenge for the James Bond filmmakers. Once when our catering didn't show up on location, Cubby went out and bought up all the pasta and canned tomatoes in Karnak, then personally cooked up a spaghetti dinner for a crew of 100. I hope you've enjoyed seeing these behind-the-scene glimpses of what it was like at the time.